Hey up, it's Steve from Old Yorkshire Geek. Bit of late night news. Late night here, anyway. A couple of stories, both from Deadline. Links are in the description. And don't forget, like and subscribe. Where's my hands? They're there. Like and subscribe. Share the videos. Drop a comment. Hit the notification bell. I'm also on Rumble and Anchor.fm and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts, and I'm also on the social medias, and my beard's rubbing the microphone. And I need to trim it. I haven't done it yet. I said I'd do it earlier on, didn't I? But I haven't got round to it yet. Follow me on my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Links for all those are in the description, as are links to my 2 books, Mercury Rapids and the other one, Silent Predator. Right, first up, where is it? Here we go. Disney moving on Tron Ares. Whack him running. I don't know how to pronounce it. Running. I don't know how to say it's a foreign name. Foreign letters. In talks to helm Jared Leto in sci-fi sequel The Dish. I'm all confused. Anyway, right. Go away. There we go. And there's Jared Leto. Is that Whack him running? Exclusive. A new installment of Tron is coming back online. The Dish hears. All right, The Dish must be a website or, a media outlet. Hears that Disney is in early negotiations to set Joachim Running to direct Jared Leto in Tron Ares. The film is crewing up, eyeing an August start date in Vancouver. Deals aren't complete yet, but this would mark the 4th collaboration between Disney and the Norwegian filmmaker who helmed Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which I've not seen. I wasn't a big fan of the first one, to be honest. And Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Oh, did he do that? Oh, well, that wasn't very good either, was it? He has wrapped for the studio the Daisy Ridley star. Oh, has she done something else? Young Woman and the Sea, about the daring journey of Gertrude Ederle, a New York teen who became the first woman to swim across the English Channel. Jeff Nathanson scripted it, and Jerry Bruckheimer produces with him. Now it's on to the Disney sci-fi franchise, which began with the 1982 film that starred Jeff Bridges and Bruce Boxleitner, and was set inside a computer program called The Grid, where a computer hacker is abducted and forced to participate in gladiatorial games. And the late, great David Warner as well, don't forget. The first one wasn't more than a cult favourite, though its special effects were seen as game-changing at the time. There's a good making of Tron on YouTube. It might be there illegally, I don't know, but it hasn't been got rid of, so it's on there. If you look it up, making of Tron. I think it's taken from the DVD, but it's good. Where were we? That following swelled around the film in years to come as it played on cable. Only helped grow its popularity to the point where Disney decided to move forward with a sequel, Tron Legacy, in 2010, with Bridges reprising his role and Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde joining the franchise. That film grossed $400 million globally, and Disney has been trying to figure out how to continue the franchise since. It was alright, I didn't mind it. The Jeff Bridges de-aging has aged poorly, ironically, but never mind. The studio got close in 2017 with Leto, but it will now it will be in the hands of Running. I don't know how you pronounce it, Running, or something like that, isn't it? Who early on broke into Hollywood co-directing with Espen Sandberg Kon-Tiki, the 2013 film that was nominated for the Foreign Language Film Oscar and chronicled Thor Heyerdahl's missed an L off there. Epic 4,300-mile crossing of the Pacific Ocean on a balsa wood raft in 1947. Young Woman and the Sea isn't slotted yet, but it has been testing strongly. The Tron Ares script is by Jesse, for God's sake, bloody names, Wigatow, and is considered the sequel to Tron Legacy, which was directed by Top Gun Maverick's Joe Kosinski. Sean Bailey and Sam Dickerman are the execs. The producers are Justin Springer, Tron Legacy, Leto and his Paradox partner Emma Ludbrook and Jeffrey Silver. Leto, who will next co-star in Disney's Haunted Mansion. Why are they doing another one of them? is repped by WME, blah, 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 reps, blah, blah, blah. Don't care about that, do we? So there you go. So doing another Tron Legacy, Tron Ares. Why are they calling it that? Is that going to be the final title? Don't know. Ares is, the Roman god of war, I think. Mars, or is Mars the Roman one? Ares is the Greek. Ares is the Greek god of war. Mars is the Roman one. Have I got that right? Yes, I have. Yes. Ares is the Greek god of war. So is there going to be a war in the grid? We will see. So that's interesting. I'll say I quite like Tron Legacy. It were okay. Oh, like I told you, it was late. Oh, I'm yawning. Good heavens, I do apologise. I said late. It's 11 o'clock at night here. It's not that late, but it's late-ish. As I record this. Where were we? I quite liked Tron Legacy, but, it wasn't amazing. And I didn't really like what they did with the grid, to be honest. It didn't feel as computerised as the original Tron, which, ironically, didn't have very many computer effects in it, did it, really? It was mostly traditional animation and, faffing about with the film rather than, CG. It did have some CG in, but not as much as people think. Anyway, so that's that one. Right, let's move on. Another one from Deadline. You've probably seen this on the news already, but I thought I'd better mention it. Alec Baldwin and the Rust Armourer to face criminal charges over 2021 fatal movie shooting, Santa Fe District Attorney says. And there's a picture of Alec Baldwin, and Anna Gutierrez Reed, who was the Armourer on Rust. Right. Alec Baldwin and Armourer Hannah Gutierrez Reed will face criminal charges for the October 2021 fatal shooting of Rust cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the film's set, the Santa Fe District Attorney said Thursday. Close to 16 months after Baldwin shot Hutchins and wounded the movie's director Joel Souza with a loaded gun during rehearsal on the set of the indie western. New Mexico First Judicial District Attorney Mary Carmack Altwiz finally unveiled her decision as to who should be charged and not charged in the tragic incident. After a thorough review of the evidence and the laws of the state of New Mexico, I have determined that there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew, Carmack Altwiz, I apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong, said this morning. On my watch, no one is above the law and everyone deserves justice. In charges set to be formally filed by the end of the month, Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed will each be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in Hutchins' death. So they'll be heading for the border now. I imagine. I shouldn't laugh because it's tragic, but they're giving them plenty, a big head start, aren't they? Heading towards a hearing before a state judge and then a jury trial. The first charge is a 4th-degree felony with sentencing of up to 18 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. The second charge, which is formally an involuntary manslaughter in the commission of a lawful act charge, is also a 4th-degree felony punishable by up to 18 months in jail and up to a $5,000 fine. However, the second charge additionally carries a firearm enhancement that gives the offence a punishing mandatory 5 years behind bars if Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed are found guilty. Long a key figure in the events surrounding Hutchins' death, Rust Assistant Director David Halls reached a plea agreement with the prosecutors for the charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon, the DA's office said today. The industry vet faces a suspended sentence and 6 months of probation. While Baldwin has in the past vowed to fight any charges, Hall's plea deal and the cooperation he likely provided to prosecutors could become a major factor for Baldwin going forward. If any of these 3 people, Alec Baldwin, Hannah Gutierrez Reed or David Halls, had done their job, Halyna Hutchins would be alive today. It's that simple, said Andrea Reeb, the special prosecutor assigned to the case. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the Rust film set. In New Mexico, there is no room for film sets that don't take our state's commitment to gun safety and public safety seriously. Over the months, while the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office put the final touches on its wide-ranging investigation of the late 2021 shooting at the Bonanza Creek Ranch, the DA has been partially planting the seeds for today's announcement. An August 30th letter to the New Mexico Board of Finance from Carmack Altwiz, again I apologise, revealed the DA's possible intentions to prosecute as many as 4 individuals with criminal and homicide charges related to Rust, including one of the possible defendants being well-known movie actor Alec Baldwin. In her ask, Carmack Altwiz, or is Altwise, I don't know, was requesting $635,000 for the matter, but was only granted $317,750 by the state. Much has happened around the Rust tragedy on screen and in the courts, as many have waited on Carmack Altwiz's decision. In an ABC News interview with George Stephanopoulos, I pronounced that properly, didn't I? In December 2021, Baldwin insisted he never actually pulled the trigger of the gun that took Hutchins' life during a quick draw rehearsal move in a church location on the set of Rust. Just minutes before the shots that killed Hutchins and wounded Sousa, Baldwin was told by Assistant Director Dave Halls that the 1880s Colt prop weapon was a cold gun, as many witnesses, including Hall, have asserted. Seemingly indifferent to his own tone, Baldwin also told the Good Morning America co-host in the now infamous sit-down that he had been told by people who are in the know, in terms of even inside the state, that it's highly unlikely that I would be charged with anything criminally. Just a couple of weeks prior to the anniversary of the tragedy, Baldwin and Rust producers reached a settlement with the Hutchins estate on October 5th, 2022, ending the wrongful death suit brought forth in mid-February against the production and the actor, who also served as a producer on the $7 million budgeted film. Part of the agreement entailed the DP's husband, Matthew Hutchins, becoming an executive producer on the resurrected Rust movie, which was scheduled to start reshooting this month, while the production has been scouting locations in California, such as Simi Valley. Deadline heard. No official word has been given about the Western fully resuming production and where it would actually film. There is also no word if Rust has been able to get insured, a necessary requirement to make a movie. At the time, the deal with the Hutchins estate was made public. The Santa Fe-based district attorney made sure there was no perception this was all over. The proposed settlement announced today in Matthew Hutchins' wrongful death case against Rust producers, including Alec Baldwin in the death of Helena Hutchins, will have no impact on District Attorney Mary Carmack Altwiz's ongoing investigation or her ultimate decision whether to file criminal charges in the case, her office said in a quickly issued statement. Staying in the public eye over the last year, Baldwin was set to star in the spy movie Chief of Station, shooting in Budapest. However, the actor had to vacate the role over scheduling issues back on October 31st. As civil lawsuits and that wrongful death action from Hutchins' family hit court dockets in New Mexico and California over the last year, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office in late 2022 finally made public the FBI assisted police report, which detailed the calamities that ensued before the shooting of Hutchins on October 21st, 2021. The raw 551-page report cast suspicion on Rust Armourer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, among others, on what appeared to be an openly problematic set. Dolly Grip Ross Adiego, for instance, claimed to police that the Armourer and her crew had issues that involved negligent discharges. The Armourer was preparing one of 6 guns and one of the revolvers went off toward her foot. A few minutes later, at the cabin set, a discharge gun went off that wasn't announced, which would have been Assistant Director David Hall's responsibility to announce, per Adiego. Besides the live round in the gun in Baldwin's hand, the FBI found 5 more rounds of live ammo on the Rust set, the report detailed. Additionally, the report cast doubt on Baldwin's assertion that he never pulled the trigger. With the hammer at full cock, the revolver could not be made to fire without a pull of the trigger, while the working internal components were intact and functional, the document stated. The report also went into detail on other instances of guns going off on Rust. Reese Price, a key grip, told authorities that accidental discharge occurred twice during the course of one day on set. One of the accidental discharges occurred by Armourer girl who was messing with a gun, Price told authorities. Sousa, in his interview with the cops, reported there wasn't any negligence on the set and didn't believe the Armourer intermingled live rounds with blanks. While staying in the public eye over the last year, multi-Emmy winner Baldwin hasn't been in front of the camera much professionally since the rushed shooting. Baldwin was set to star in the spy movie Chief of Station shooting in Budapest. However, the actor had to vacate the role over scheduling issues back on October 31st. We just read that. In that vein, mid-November last year, Baldwin took on the role of plaintiff and hit Rust Armourer Gutierrez Reed, First Assistant Director Halls, Property Master Sarah Zachary, and Weapons and Round Supplier Seth Kenny and his company with a negligence lawsuit. Filed in LA Superior Court, the action claimed that Baldwin had also lost numerous job opportunities and associated income because of what happened on Rust. For example, he's been fired from multiple jobs expressly because of the incident on Rust. He shot somebody, for Christ's sake, and has been passed over for other opportunities, which is a direct result of the negligence of cross-defendants Gutierrez, Reed, Halls, Kenny, PDQ, that must be the company, and Zachary. Stated the cross-complaint paperwork prepared by Quint Emanuel attorney Luke Nickers for Baldwin. Along with a much challenged but still enduring suit from Rust script supervisor Mamie Mitchell, that matter remains before the California courts. There we go. And there's lots of comments if you want to read them. But yeah, it's a tragedy, and it's a tragedy the way it's playing out, with Baldwin somehow oblivious to what he's done, blaming everybody but himself. But I don't know. That said, they're not going to... I don't know. Unless they're found guilty of the second... Where are we? The second charge. If they're found guilty of the second, they could get 5 years behind bars, which is still not a lot for killing a person. It'll not bring Helena Hutchins back, will it? But, like I said, Baldwin seems, as I said, oblivious to what he's done. Is he like in some like continuous state of shock where he's like in denial? I don't know, but anyway, it's a tragic case. Said I think Alec Baldwin's career is probably over, more or less, unless he stumps up money himself to make his own films, but there'll be, I don't know if he'll get like real, union people to work with him. I mean, it'll be really hard for him to get insurance, as you'd imagine. So I think his career is essentially over. That's why he's suing other people. I tell you, it's a mess. It's a mess. So anyway, we'll leave it there because it's all very sad. Still no news about Julian Sands. I've just checked, and the search is still ongoing. But there's no news if he's been found. So that's another sad. So it's a sad day today for news, really, isn't it? Apart from the Tron news. But yeah, so we'll leave it there, and I'm going to go to bed thoroughly depressed. Right, so thanks for watching, wherever you are in the universe. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.